a snow crime. Staying focused on the mission, I'll be out of here in no time. Hitting harder than a coke line. Just advance to the cash, no more standing.
All right, guys, here again, episode number 2. Mr. Adversary, what would you like to share with us today? You're going to be sharing your first week on BET.
Yes. So picking up from the last episode, where I met the angel and went through the audition process. So the following, I guess picking up from there, after I get the call about being on the show, I'm super hyped. I'm excited. You know, I start trying to prep, get my mind right for it, spread the word, let everybody know, you know, whatever the date was that they initially told me I was supposed to be on ended up getting pushed back to the following week. So I had already told everyone I was going to be on I guess that Friday that was coming, and then it ended up getting pushed back to the next week. So when the episode aired, of course, I looked like an asshole. Like, oh, you gonna be on this? You wasn't on there.
You faking.
Yeah, all of that extra. You know what I'm saying? So, although I get it. If somebody was running around hyping up something and then it didn't happen, I get it. But it was cool. It was all good because, you know what I mean? I was like, all right, y'all gonna see next week. So, I think I had a couple people meet me up there. My cousin on my dad's side, she was up there. My homegirl Aisha was up there. My man Inkwell, you know what I mean? Shout out to Inkwell, he met me up there. So it was a couple people that met me up there. But I think I rode up with, it was me, E, Rich, and Barron, if I'm not mistaken, on that first ride up. So we all get up there. Everybody's in it was in Manhattan where they filmed it, in the CBS building, surprisingly. So when you get there's the big CBS logo on there, and I thought that was so fitting because my initials happen to be CBS, so I was like, yeah, it was destiny. But
that's random.
Yeah, it is crazy. But going, and it's this waiting room, so we're all sitting, you know, just talking, passing the time or whatever. You know, my cousin's in there, my friends in there, we're just talking.
And you've never been on TV before this?
And this is, no. I had done radio prior to this, but never TV. Did PGC, KYS. There's a contest that they had on Hot 97. I did that. A bunch of different college radio stations, stuff like that. 106.5. The Beat in Richmond did that. So I had radio experience, but never been on TV. So the nerve, I'm gonna get to that in a second because that's coming. But the nerves, just I guess as a pretext, the level of nerves and butterflies that you feel in that moment is unreal. So we're in the waiting room, sitting around, and eventually they come down and, you know, tell us it's time to go upstairs. So basically, you came in through this little corridor, if you will, and you went over here, and then it's like this big waiting room, and you just sit in there. When it's time to film, they come get you, and then you like go upstairs, and then the studio that you actually see on TV is in that building, you know, I guess on that second or third, whatever floor it was. So we come in the joint, and the thing about it was, it's a live show, but Friday's episode they film on Tuesday. And the producer was explaining if there's anything that happens that they need to edit, it gives them a few days to edit it and get the episode right so they can air it on Friday. I never knew that, you know what I mean? The way it always looked to me like it was always live. And I mean, I guess it is live, but just Friday's episode doesn't get filmed on Friday. The other episodes they film and shoot live when it's happening, but Friday's joint, they shoot on like Tuesday, usually a Tuesday or Monday, to prep for Friday. So that was the interesting thing, you know what I mean? I didn't know, but we get there, we get upstairs, and interestingly enough, the guy I had to go against happened to be from Baltimore. So, and there was a couple people from Maryland on that show, you know what I mean? At least there had been people from Maryland in the past. this dude Red Dot, who I want to say was from Baltimore, and it was another guy, white guy, and I can't remember his name. But he was on there for a while. Kidda, who was another guy from Frederick, he was on there as well. I think right before me, Kidda was on that joint right before I got on there. But there had been a few people from Maryland prior. But during the time I was on the show, I felt like it was another like nod towards Maryland, I guess, because it was a couple people from Maryland during the time I was on there, and like right before I got on there. But the dudes from Baltimore, you know, and they called us up to the stage, and Terrence and Roxy is up there, and Terrence starts talking to us a little bit before before they start shooting, and he's basically telling us like, yeah, even though this episode isn't being filmed live, we treat it like it's live.
That's Terrence Ross.
Is that his last name? No, Terrence James, I think.
Okay.
But
the host of the show.
But the host of the show, yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah, I want to say Terrence James. But, yeah, it's him and Roxy, and he's talking to us and giving us the rundown. And he's like, even though it's not live, it's not a live show, we film it like it is. So if you slip up, if you stutter, if you curse, whatever it is, whatever happens, we're just going to treat it like it's live. Like, we're not going to stop and start again. So there's the weight of that kind of on your shoulders, which you should never go into something expecting to mess up, especially not something of that magnitude. But the pressure was there. So he's telling us they're not running anything back, so don't mess up. And it's 4 or 5 different cameramen walking around with the big shoulder cameras. So they're walking, filming, getting the audience, getting whatever angles they're getting, but they just moving around. And then there's the big main camera teleprompter thing in the middle. And it's big ass camera joint just sitting right in the middle. So he's like, all right, I hope y'all ready. And remember, and I don't know if he did it on purpose or if I don't know. I guess he was trying to just make us aware of the gravity of the situation. But you know what I mean? So it's like, come on, dog. You be on TV. This is our first time. So that's the thing, like I was saying earlier, dog. I can't really put into words the feeling of being on, like, TV. You know what I'm saying? Like.
And how old were you at this point again? You're 24?
This was early 20s. Yeah, something like that. 23, 20, something like that. I had done, I want to say, had I done to that point? I don't know. Maybe I may have done been featured on maybe a local channel or something like that in the past, like a local cable TV channel. So that's cool too.
But nothing with the international audience.
Exactly. And that was the thing. I wasn't even really thinking international, you know what I mean? Like until I started getting messages on Facebook and all that. People from UK and Nigeria and all them, they was like, yeah, son, I seen you. And it was crazy. But in that moment of your first time being on TV, like every thought that you could imagine having is probably running through your mind at that moment. And you just have this immense, like you get at least for me, when I get nervous, like I get this butterfly type feeling. And it was like heavy, like it was to the point, like I felt I was almost going to lift off the ground because it was so intense. And I was just super nervous. And even though I had kind of prepped in my mind, at least, of what to expect, it's something that's hard to do when you don't have any prior experience to take from or any prior context. So we there. And then the other thing too is you don't know what beat they're going to play. So you're already nervous from having to perform and make sure you don't mess up, but then you don't even know what beat they're going to give you. He introduces us and he was like, yeah, to this, this week on the show, we got 2 new challengers.
Oh, wait, what did Terrence say to you? To you guys before you came on camera?
He was just saying, he was explaining to us that the show, even though it wasn't a live recording, they treat it like it was. So if there was any mess ups or stutters or whatever, they weren't going to stop and reshoot and, basically give you another chance. So it was like, don't slip up. You know what I mean? Pretty much. So the gravity, the weight of knowing that you're on, national, international television, millions, I think that's what Terrence was kind of saying too. Like, you're in the studio and it's, people here, but he was like right there, like pointing to the big camera in the middle, like right there, that's like a million people. So just keep that in mind. And like the whole world, everybody's watching. And it was like, oh, gee, thanks. So, the pressure was on. And then on top of that, you don't know what beat they're going to give you either. So as much as you try to prep mentally for what's going to happen, you don't really, you don't know. It's your first time. And not knowing what beat they're going to play, everything just adds to the pressure. So at that moment, I just felt like I had butterflies to a magnitude that I can't really explain. Like the level of nervousness is just sitting right there on your chest. Like, damn, dog, like what's about to happen? I don't want to slip up home. And you're just nervous, you know what I mean? So, Terrence introduces us. We got 2 new challenges to the show and introduce yourself. Like I say, that dude was from Baltimore. And I had told the people Glenmont, even though Glenmont technically isn't a city. But, that's where I'm at. That's where I grew up at. So I was like,
if you know, you know. That's what it is.
You know what I'm saying? So I told people I'm on Maryland.
All right, so we got 2 brand new challenges to the show. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the world.
Yo, what's up? It's your man Adversary holding it down for Glenmont, Maryland. 301, 202, stand up. We out here.
We here.
So that's what they were saying. So he introduced us, they explained the rules, and then they dropped the beat. So now the crazy thing was, and see that this is what they say about the law of attraction too, like when you think about something hard enough, you will it or bring it towards you or make it happen or whatever. So the one thing I had been saying prior to getting on the show is, if I get on, I need them to give me the burn. It's 2 beats I wanted. I wanted the Simon Says from Foul March, and I wanted the burn joint from Mobb Deep. So as long as I get them 2 beats, I don't care whatever else they play on whenever I'm on it. But I need them 2 joints. So I'm saying this all the way up until I get on the show. So the beat drops, and I had to go first. I don't know if we did it. No, I don't think they did a coin toss, but I ended up having to go first. So the pressure was really on because it's like I got to set it off, and I got to be flawless. So the beat drops, and it's the Wet Wipes joint, the Cameron joints. I was like, oh, man. Not that it's a bad beat. Like, the beat is cool. It rocks. But it's a slower tempo joint. It's like a...
Touch mics, and I need y'all to respect my cipher because it's so unkind. Absol, let's go!
Hey, yo, check it, yo, listen, freestyle like this, look.
It's a little slower type of vibe, and we battling. So for me, how my mind works, I want to, you know what I mean? I want something a little faster, a little quicker pace, so I could just go in, you know what I'm saying? So it was a slower joint, I had to catch the beat. But, a real MC gonna do what he do. So the joint dropped, and I just started going in, you know what I'm saying? I did like a name flip. What I say? I could tell. I forget what cuz's name was. Dre something about Dre something. So I think I had threw his name. I tried to do a name flip, and I said something about like your man Dre is a stupid guy. You will die because battling me is suicide. Try what you want. I'm ripping you up. Run up on you and break your leg like I'm wishing you luck. You know what I'm saying? And just set the joint off so everybody there. Oh! Crowd going crazy.
I can tell your man Dre is a stupid guy. You will die because battling me is suicide. So try what you want, I'm ripping you up. Run up on you and break your leg like I'm wishing you luck. Listen, he can't stop me, so don't get cocky. Your chances of beating me are about as slim as Roxy. And everybody knows my poetry's raw. Why keep buying clothes from the grocery store? Listen, I don't want to hear no talk about you killing me, cause we can see borrowed a shirt from Mini-Me. It's a rap.
And my strategy going in was, and this is pretty much, I guess, for any battle. Like you certain guys you can prepare for if you have certain knowledge beforehand. You know what I'm saying? You can prepare in a different way than when it's somebody you don't know and that's the first time you've seen them. But I have certain things I do that prep me, so no matter what the situation is, I'm prepared. One thing I always try to do is say stuff that people don't say, or say stuff that I know the other dude not gonna say. And as long as you're able to do that, you'll always have the crowd because you're saying shit that they never heard before. Like, that's the key. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's only so many words in the English language. There's only so many ways you can relate one thing to something else. So after a while, it has a potential to get repetitive, or where, oh, this guy said this rap. Oh, I heard Cuz say that. Or someone says, he says something similar. So, you know what I mean? There's always that line that you heard from somewhere else. So I try to, if I think of a line I think is hot, before I even write it, I'll stop and try to reformat that, the joint I just came up with. Like, oh, that's a bar. That bar is hard. All right, how could I say that even better or more different? And then rework it. And then, all right, that's the bar I'm going to use. So even with my punchlines and my, you know, just the stuff I say, I try to say different stuff and stuff that people don't say, stuff that people wouldn't necessarily think to relate to something, and just hit them with the creativity. And I mean, I think that's one of the things the producer was saying, like, one of the reasons they wanted to put me on the show, because I was creative. I was different with the way I rhymed and how I put stuff together. So even, yeah, like, wish you run up on you and break your leg, like I'm wishing you luck. Like, people, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. So that was my strategy, just going in. Just say stuff I know he's not going to say, and just go in and leave, like, no form of nervousness or whatever, even though I'm super, like, stupid nervous at this point. But the beat drop, I'm going in, I'm just, you know what I mean, kicking rhymes, looking at what he got on. I said something about his clothes, buying his clothes out the grocery store, something like that. And just, you know, just taking stock of the situation and just going in. Boom. So I rhyme, do my thing, the beat stops. And everybody's, oh, okay. You know, I get a good reaction from the crowd. So it's like, all right. I hadn't heard him rhyme up to this point. I didn't know what he was going to sound like or whatever. But just looking at him based on appearance, I was like, so I'm probably not like that. He's not that nice. Like, I'm not worried.
So how did you feel after your verse? Did you feel good, confident?
I did. Like, I was blown because, you know, they cut the beat after 30 seconds.
I don't want to hear no talk about you killing me, because we can see borrowed his shirt from Mini-Me. It's a rap. This kid is...
I was gonna let you get the last bar in.
So it'll be like sometimes when you're mid-bar or about to say a bar or whatever it is, and it's like you have the line in your head, but then you want to be conscious of whether or not the beat is playing. So, and then, like I said, that being my first time, you know, in that situation of at that level, it was just like, I think that was probably the biggest thing, is just like the beat cutting a little quicker than I wanted it to. It was like, damn, I didn't get to say that last line. But other than that, yeah, it was like I did my thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I let them know, like, how we get down, like, how we do it. So now it's on the other dude, like, what's he going to do? And like I said, just looking at his appearance, I felt like, all right, he's probably not too much of a threat. Not that, you know, the way someone looks always guarantees something, but doing it as long as I've been doing it, understanding how things generally work, I could look at him and tell, like, that is probably nothing to worry about. He starts spitting, and he was all right, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna fake like, oh, he was the worst. Like, nah, so he was all right. But it wasn't nothing like crazy. The only line he had that was crazy to me was the last joint right at the end of his verse. He said something about you people on the lookout, cause my guns will eat your ribs like Fat Joe at a cookout.
We ball type of clown. Why? This man is all rap to the 106 BET cameras on. Hustle all day with the cops on the lookout. The girls eat ribs like Fat Joe at a cookout.
Wow, all right. Started off a little slow, yeah? All right, 1-4. All right, arch so.
That shit was funny. So I like that. I was like, all right, okay, that was a bar. But that was like the hardest thing he said. Everything else was like, it was all right. So, you know, crowd was okay, they was clapping, but I felt like I had the better crowd reaction. And I went first. And stylistically, again, like I say, like with the way I put stuff together, my approach stylistically, it's different. What he did is more what you would typically expect most people to come up and do. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing out the box. So I knew I had that as an advantage. So then boom, now it comes back to round 2. All right, I need y'all to go in because it's round 2. This is what decides it all. It's Terrence, you know what I'm saying? Hyping it up. So they dropped the beat for round 2. Why was the Mob Deep joint?
Hey, Ab, so bring the beat back and let's go into the second round. Let's do this.
Okay, yeah, look, it's like this, yo.
One of the 2 beats that I said they had to play, they played my first week on that joint for the second round. Let's go. So as soon as I heard the and I heard the joint drop, I was like you could see like the footage, you see me react to hearing the beat. And I was like, that's exactly the joint I wanted. So I already knew. I said, I'm about to get the Vic now for like Stamp. I'm about to win now. I'm about to win. It's a wrap. So that joint drops. And I start going in. Boom, again. And like I'm freestyling. Like I'm like for real freestyling. Like you always gonna have a couple bars on deck just in case. Because you never know. You might go up for like, all right, for me, when you rhyme, or especially when you freestyle, it's a vibe. It's a feeling. So it's not necessarily something you can prepare for. They're going to drop the beat. However you vibe and feel to the beat, that's the level you're going to come at it, basically. So the more vibe, the more in tune I am with that feeling or that beat, that's the harder the freestyle going to be. So, but at the same time, if you're in a situation where you don't know what beat they're going to drop, they might throw you something that throws you off or it's not quite your vibe, and then now you still got to bring your bars correctly. So you always have some joints in the stash, but you try to go off both or mix it up or just throw one of your joints out and then freestyle off of that or whatever. It's different ways you could do it. So I heard the burn joint, that's the beat I wanted anyway. So I knew, I can really just go in and just freestyle, like just really freestyle. So cool. So he had cornrows like going down the side like the Exhibit joints. And I had a line that I had thought about that I wanted to say about something about Exhibit, but the beat ran in the first round, but the beat had cut. So I just said, all right, let me just go off the top and just run with it. So I was like, if I spit a hot line, he gonna try to rewind it. His hairline's like, where's Waldo? I can't find it. Crowd started like, oh. And then as I'm rhyming, I got the idea like, yo, let me act like let me rhyme and then act like as I'm rhyming, like as I'm spitting against him, like his girl is calling me. So I'm saying something, your hairline does something off of the dome. Matter of fact, I think his girlfriend calling my phone. So then I pull my phone out and then I just start rapping on the phone like his girl is on the phone with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like something in more friends and nothing. I'm just beating up your boyfriend, like sitting like I'm rapping to her about him on the phone like she really called me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm spitting the verse and and the crowd is going crazy. The judge is going crazy. Everybody's, oh my God. So, I spit like 4 bars or something about on the phone, like I'm on the phone with this girl. Boom. Then I turn and I look at Terrence, because Terrence is standing right there. So his face is like, he's in there like with the oh my God, like with the what? So he's stuck. I'm rhyming. I just put the phone away, like I hung up with his girl. I turn and see Terrence's face. Then I take him and I throw him in the freestyle. So then I turn, I was like, straight something, I'm maiming you. Lyrically, I'm flaming you. Then I turn, I'm like, look at Terrence's face. You see that he's ashamed of you. The crowd goes more crazy because it's like I'm literally taking everything that's happening in real time and just and throwing it in the rhyme. So they know like, yo, he really coming off the top of his head with it. So I did that, boom, finished the round, boom. Now it's his turn. The crowd going crazy. They feeling me now. His turn. He does his thing. His second verse was better than his first verse. But again, it was like the only real hard line he had was at the end. He said something about what I was wearing, like, oh, you ain't from Maryland because we don't dress like that, something like that. And then at the end, they're like, all right, we're going to come to a decision. And the people, I guess his people, he bought with him in the crowd, they started yelling out his name. So you hear it in the background while they're still filming. And as the camera zooms out, you hear them yelling his name. So then my peoples hear that. So they start yelling my name louder over his people. So then all in the back, all you hear is ADV, ADV, ADV. And it's the camera zooming out as Terrence is like saying, we'll be right back. But you can hear it. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was dope too. So boom, they cut. They go to the little fake commercial break. They come back and then Roxy is back on stage with him. And they're like, all right, we're about to announce the winner, da-da-da-da-da. So on the count of 3, judges hold up. And I had already felt like, in my heart, I felt like, I know I won. I know I got some. But at the same time, I've been in situations like that where I know I won and they still said the other dude won. So it's never really a guarantee, even when it's a guarantee sometimes. You know what I mean? But they was like, on the count of 3, da-da-da. And all the judges held the sign, and all 3 of the judges voted for me. All of them had to sign with my name on it. So he was like, oh, Adversary. Hey, dog, it was like one of the happiest moments in my life. Like, soon as they announced I was the winner, I remember, like, I jumped up. I was like, yeah! And started, like just tripping out on stage. Like, mind you, they still filming and everything. Yeah, so they're like, yeah, you know, give you a shout out. So I started shouting out my social media, and that was another thing, too. Prior to that, other people had been on the show. I don't recall seeing anyone really shouting out social media or whatever like that. When I was on there, dog, I set the trend because I noticed after I did it, everybody else that came on after me, all of them started doing it. Oh yeah, go on my Facebook, go on my Twitter. Da-da-da. I was doing that first. So when they started to jump, when they was like give you shout outs, that's what I was doing. I was like MySpace, da-da-da, Facebook, da-da-da, Twitter had like just started around that time. Shouted out my Twitter and everything. So it gave people the ability to actually reach out,
find you,
contact. Exactly, dog. If people got like you on TV, it's gonna be opportunities that people see you and think you're talented. So rather than them just saying, "Oh, son on Freestyle Friday, yeah, cuz nice," and that's it, and they just gotta wait till Friday to catch me for the little 5 minutes I'm gonna be on the air. Nah, dog, hit me on the social media now. You know what I'm saying? Hit me, compute with an email, message, DM, whatever. Get at me. You know what I'm saying? If it shows opportunities, people got money, they want to pay me to come and go rap. And, you know what I'm saying? So I was shouting out my social media every week. Like, I would run it too, because it's like it's BET. Millions of people are watching. So that little, what was supposed to be like, 5 to 7 seconds, I'll be up there 15, 20 seconds. Yeah, da-da-da, shout out this and hit me on the Facebook and da-da-da. And they used to, had to put like, all right, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, that's what it is. You got to take advantage. So I shouted everybody out, gave my thanks to God for allowing me to be there and things happening how they happen. And, and that was pretty much it. So after we filmed, everybody shaking my hand, the security in the building, yo, son, you dogged him, son, yo. So everybody showing me love, whatever. And when we left, we went to go celebrate. So keep in mind, it's me, E, Baron, Rich, Inkwell. I think Aisha came with us. She might have came with us to get the drinks and then left after. But I think she was there, and who else? And it might have been like one more person, but it was like 6, 7 of us. So we just walked up a couple blocks, found this nice, I don't even know what spot it was, but this little bar was set up out there by, was it Rockefeller Plaza? Somewhere over there. It's a nice outside little bar joint, bartender in there. So we in there, all of my mans, hey, young, let me get like 8 shots, my man Inkwell already. Let me get like 8 shots. 7 shots, my man, he about to be on TV. You going, ooh. So he hyping me up and everything. And the bartender, oh yeah, for real? Sicing us with the drinks. So needless to say, we got lit.
I can imagine.
Like, I probably had 2 or 3 too many. Like, we got lit, son. So I don't even remember.
On a Tuesday.
Coming back. Yeah, on a random Tuesday. Exactly. The club went up on a Tuesday. So we turned up. We enjoyed ourselves, you know what I'm saying? And then rode back. And then the following week, the episode aired and everybody else got to see it and it was cool. But that was essentially the experience. The first week going up there, that's how that went. So we'll come back and fill y'all in on week 2.
All right, guys, you heard it. Next week, we'll give you, week 2. Let's see how that goes. All right, guys.
Touch mics, and I need y'all to respect my cipher because it's so unkind. Let's go.
Hey, yo, check it, yo. Listen, freestyle like this. Look, I can tell your man Dre is a stupid guy. You will die, cause battling me is suicide. So try what you want, I'm ripping you up. Run up on you and break your leg like I'm wishing you luck. Listen, he can't stop me, so don't get cocky. Your chances of beating me are about as slim as Roxy. And everybody knows my poetry's raw. Why keep buying clothes from the grocery store? Listen, I don't want to hear no talk about you killing me, cause we can see he borrowed a shirt from Mini-Me. It's a rap, this kid is...
I was gonna let you get the last bar in. Those were some highlights from round 1 of today's Freestyle Friday battle. I need both of y'all to step it up going into the second round, because somebody needs to leave and get out of here, all right? So bring the beat back, and let's go into the second round. Let's do this.
Okay, yeah, look, it's like this, yo. If I spit a hotline, he gon' try to rewind it. His hairline's like, where's Waldo? I can't find it. And I freestyle off of the dome. Matter of fact, I think his girlfriend is calling my phone. Hello? Yeah, you can bring more friends. Oh, right now, I'm just beating up your boyfriend. What? Yeah, I know it ain't right. Okay, sweetheart, I'll see you later tonight. Listen, straight maiming you. Lyrically, I'm flaming you. Look at Terrence's face. You see that he's ashamed of you. I'm killing this cat for real, dog. Off the head, I'll be ripping the track.
Yeah. All right.